Are we ready? Okay. Hi, everybody. The Jeff and Katie show is on. It's 4 o'clock on Sunday here in Door County. Katie Doll is removing our logo. She'll be joining me soon. We have a special guest today, as always. We have our bake-off today. And right now, we're going to start you off with... It's Sunday and you're on the go.
At 4 o'clock, it's time to slow.
'Cause everybody that you know is watching. The Jeff and Katie show.
The Katie and Jeff.
No, the Jeff and Katie show.
The Katie and Jeff.
No, the Jeff and Katie show.
Maybe it's commutable.
It's simply irrefutable. No matter what, we know that you'll be watching. The Jeff and Katie show.
The Katie and Jeff
No,
show.
the Jeff and Katie show.
The Katie and Jeff show. Commutable.
Refutable.
Disputable.
Delusional. No matter what, we know that you'll be watching. The Jeff and Katie show. Math. Katie Doll.
Yay!
Good to see you as always.
Nice to see you right through this plexiglass.
I know. Here we are on the patio outside the lovely Creative Center here at Northern Sky. The landscaping here that Jason Feldman installed last year is starting to show some signs of maturity,
Yes.
even though it's very new.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
looks
so pretty, isn't it?
It's so pretty.
The butterfly garden out front. And
Oh, is that a
yeah.
butterfly garden?
Yeah.
Oh, so there's milkweed? Is that what makes
I
it a
think
butterfly
so.
garden?
Well, I think that's one of the things for sure.
Maybe someone can tell me in the chat, or maybe you can tell me, Jeff. We, my son Guthrie and I, and his dad found some monarch caterpillars, and we put them in this nice little butterfly box that we got from great Northern Sky friend and former house manager Meredith Colson.
Oh, nice.
And they have made what are they? Chrysalises.
Yeah, the chrysali.
And they're very small. Like, are they going to get bigger? Do you think? No, the chrysalises are just very small.
Yes, they're very
So they're just going to
tiny.
amazingly unwrap from this tiny little thing.
That's correct.
That's amazing.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And I know this personally because I did a bad thing when I was in junior high. We had to do insect collections. So I went out, and we lived in rural Wisconsin down by Mount Horeb, and there were farm fields all around us, alfalfa fields, blah, blah, blah. And I would go out there with a pail. I didn't have a net because I was not a true, whatever you call those, insect collectors.
Yeah.
So I went out with a pail, and I would just scoop it through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would try and catch whatever insects I could, and I'd be like, okay, that'll be, pin them up, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, how can I catch some butterflies? So what I did was I put little cloths over the top of chrysali that were hanging from our eaves at our home, and then when the butterfly hatched, I had it.
Oh.
So I trapped it. So I knew I was watching it, and when it releases, it does like a fluid thing that it releases. So there's a spot on the outside of what was just a little piece of cotton that I put up there and taped up, and then I unfolded that, and there was the butterfly.
Wow.
I know.
And did it die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Well, you got to pin them up because
Right.
it's
Well,
a
you pinned
science
it. Right.
collection.
Okay. Yeah. Of course it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
I remember a Fred Alley poem published in the Door County Advocate about catching insects. Do you remember that poem, or did you ever read it? From
maybe.
our backfield to ball court jars, we watched through glass the dance of death. I think is the first lines. Yeah.
The Dance of Death. That's so Strindbergian of him. That's the name of one of Strindberg's plays, The Dance of Death. Yes.
I
so
acted
Katie
like
Doll,
I knew what that meant, but I didn't.
what do you think? I got up this morning and Charles was up before me, and I came out of the bedroom and Charles already had his coffee in hand. What do you think the first thing he said to me was this morning? Just take a wild guess.
He said, "Is Katie Doll going to beat you at the bake-off again?"
No, that was the second thing he said. No, the first thing that he said was, "We got the woodchuck."
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't know you had been having a woodchuck
We
problem.
have been having a woodchuck problem. We built that industrial fence around our garden so that we wouldn't have to deal with critters. And it included, very cleverly, a lot of protective measures against such rodents, including chicken wire on the bottom part of the hog wire. The hog wire is 4 inches,
Yeah,
right?
I just learned about that today. Yeah.
Yeah, and the chicken wire, of course, is way...
Closer,
yeah,
smaller.
way smaller. So it's on the bottom part of the hog wire.
And is it like underneath the ground?
And it goes underneath so that they can't burrow underneath. However, the woodchuck figured out how to climb up and over and through the hog wire.
Oh.
And it's it's 4 inches, and but those rodents, they
They're
right.
Houdini-esque.
They're Houdini-esque. Yes, without the padlocks. Yes, and he slipped in, and he was having his way with. What do you think he liked in that garden?
Zucchini?
He did not eat any zucchini. He was eating dill, which was
seemed very nutritious.
in abundance outside the garden. Thank you very much. He was eating cilantro. I'm like,
oh, weird.
That's like one little gourmet.
It's like a foodie woodchuck.
A little food, a little foodie groundhog. But then he went after the cabbages. He was starting to go after the cabbages and the cauliflower, and he was, So every day we'd go out and we'd see another plant destroyed by this woodchuck. So we set the live trap, and lo and behold, this morning Charles said, "We got him." So he is now in the witness protection program, happily living another life somewhere else. Location not disclosed. So yeah.
We were on the island last night for a gig, and my mom was taking care of Guthrie and our house, and I had discovered just before we left that there was a mouse in my car. There were signs of a mouse in my car. There's little shredded stuff.
Yep.
And so we set a trap, and the first thing I woke up to a text from my mom, which when she's babysitting for my son, I check them very, I'm like, oh, this is important. I better check right now. And I looked at it, it's this picture of this dead mouse in the trap, and I was like, really, Mom, of all the pictures to send, I didn't need to see the picture of the mouse, but I'm glad that we got it. So it was a rodent catching morning for us.
It was.
Go team.
Yeah. Go team, indeed. Yeah. Okay, let's introduce our special guest, shall we?
Okay, great.
We'll talk about all the Northern Sky stuff coming up once he has arrived.
He
being Doc Heide.
Woo,
now,
yes.
did you do a Jeff and Katie show with Doc Heide picture release?
I did.
Week? How did I miss it?
I don't know.
Was it on the Facebook?
It was on the Facebook.
Yeah.
I didn't put any no Jeff filter on it or anything. I didn't put it in parentheses.
I have my own no Jeff filter, by the way. It's called Don't Go to Facebook.
That's a good filter.
Yeah, it's a good filter.
Yeah.
Hi, Doc Heide.
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good, actually.
Yeah. You've been gallivanting about the nation yourself, haven't you?
Yes, we just returned from Michigan, where we were for about 10 days with family. So.
How are things there?
Well, that's a
big resort area too, isn't it?
Excuse me?
That's a big resort area too, isn't it?
Yeah, Emmett County, where we were, I think still has under 100 cases. It's about similar to here. And actually, that area is kind of Michigan's version of Door County.
Right.
So it's beautiful, and people are out and about, and the governor had just declared that there could be no indoor gatherings of above 10 people. So we were actually there for a funeral, and we ended up holding it outdoors, which I think was a better way to do it.
Right. So, yeah, a lot of outdoor stuff going on.
Yep.
Lo and behold, here we are outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
So, Doc, we're gonna let's do a song right away.
Okay, I'm gonna get my guitar.
And you want to talk a little bit about this song? I'm not even sure when you wrote it. I see there's a 2007 copyright mark on the bottom of this. Is that true and accurate?
No, it was written quite a bit prior to that, and I'm not sure. This song took at least a decade to write.
A decade?
Yes.
That was fast output for you, Doc.
I know, compared to a lot of the shows we do. This is a song that has to do with leaving graduate school and moving to California. I had graduated from Penn State in the early 80s and started writing this, sometime in the 80s, but I couldn't quite find it. And then one day I was taking a walk on a Sunday afternoon in Peninsula State Park, and it kind of pulled together. So it's kind of about the openness of California and what an effect that had to be out there in a place full of possibility.
Yeah.
So
the world as I found it.
Yep. Packed up my old Ford and headed west from Pennsylvania. I was free of the ivy-covered years. The backseat packed with books, William James, the poems of Whitman, brilliant minds insisting life is not how it appears, rolled across the prairie like a creaking horse-drawn wagon, up beyond the Rockies to find the golden fields, slipped off my shoes and ran down to where the sun sank in the water, till the evening star come shining like a dream the day conceals. Will you take this world as you find it? Castle crafted by your mother's hand. I would be a wave upon the ocean, tumble down to break upon the sand. The trees in California are still green in late October. I remember hot clove cider on a frosty autumn morning. I call home every Sunday. I see there's no ice on the water here. It just rolls on like summer or the day the world was born. Will you take this world as you find it? Castle crafted by your mother's hand. I would be a wave upon the ocean, tumble down to grave upon the sand. Will you take this world as you find it? Castle crafted by your mother's hand. I would be a wave upon the ocean, tumble down to break upon the sand.
Beautiful song, Doc.
Thank you.
It's one of my favorite songs of all time, and there was a time, I think I've told Doc this before, I eventually ended up recording this song, but because I love it so much, but there was a time in my life, in my early 20s, when this song felt like so much, like everything that I felt, every time I was at a beach, I wrote the lyrics out in the sand. It was like my beach song where I wrote it all out. Emily Colson and I were mutually obsessed with this song.
It has some unusual chord progressions, which is not unusual for Doc Heide. They go interesting places.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for recording it, by the way.
Oh, yes. My pleasure.
Your version is just gorgeous.
Well, thanks.
So we wanted to talk a little bit about stuff that's going on at Northern Sky, and Doc knows from all of the senior staff meetings that we've been having of late and always since we canceled the season, that in fact at Northern Sky we are extremely busy, really sort of amazingly so. And one of the things that we have going on is another special premiere event this Friday called Songs of Hope. And I think I can't remember for sure. It's been a while since I watched the video. Do you remember, Katie, what shows are in it that are representative
in
of
Songs of Hope?
Yeah, of you and Doc's. Do you know?
Well, Victory Farm is in it. Of me and Doc's. Let's see. The songs I know that are in are the shows are Boxcar, Windjammers, Victory Farm, We Like It Where.
See Jane Vote.
See Jane Vote.
Oh yeah.
Loose Lip Sink Ships.
Right. Is there a See Jane Vote?
Maybe not. Actually, no. It's the Bachelors. I'm wrong about that. Bachelors.
Oh no.
Ships. We're talking.
We're talking
Songs of
Hope coming up on Friday.
Oh, I'm
there is
sorry.
Loose Lip Sync
Okay.
Ships.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's great.
So if
I
if
cried.
anybody caught the skylights from Raise the Curtain, you know that the footage that we have from the park is spectacular.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I thought archival footage, it's going to be lame.
No.
It's not remotely lame, and there's like multiple camera angles.
Yeah.
The sound is awesome.
Yeah, the sound is awesome. Bill Human shot that professionally for us, and we've extracted yet more material from that footage, and we have put together Songs of Hope, and that's going to premiere this Friday at 7 o'clock. You can go to our brand new website, all about our virtual season. It's really spectacular, and you can register there to see Songs of Hope. And while you're there, you can check out some other wonderful things that we have been up to. As we do these premieres, we then make them available for your consumption at a later time. So you don't have to catch the premiere in order to catch a lot of the material that's happening at Northern Sky. That includes things like the Jeff and Katie Show. We post it, and it's up there, and now you can go on our website and you click on the Jeff and Katie Show, and you can watch past episodes, for instance.
I think you could watch for like 13 hours consecutively, which sounds like a great day to me.
Oh,
Watch the Jeff and Katie show.
binge
Yeah, you
watch
could
Jeff and
binge,
Katie.
yeah.
Yeah. Just make sure you have lots and lots of baked goods by your side.
right.
Otherwise, you will feel very you'll feel very bereft.
You know, well,
yeah,
no, I was
go
going to
ahead.
ask a question because I know that you guys did the workshop of Sunflower this week.
We did.
And
yeah.
I had the privilege of seeing the reading at the end, which is so awesome. But I was wondering, how was that? What was the process like to do that, to do a remote workshop?
It's not the same
No,
at all.
no.
But one of the things that I think all of us were hoping that we might be able to figure out, which we did not figure out, was how to do the simultaneous singing and playing
Yeah.
thing from different locations.
Yeah.
It's so fraught still. I mean, it's just at every turn you're sort of stymied.
Yeah.
So we gave up on that fairly quickly, even though everybody was game and people had really worked on it beforehand. But we were able, nonetheless, to get new songs written this week because we had the writers in residence here in Door County. They were quarantined among themselves.
Quarantined?
Yes, quarantined amongst themselves at one of our houses up in Sister Bay, and they found that to be extremely inspirational, and they got a lot of great work done. And we worked for 4 hours every day as a dozen of us, I think, were on Zoom.
Oh, wow.
Every day, and we kept at it.
Yeah.
And I think. You tell me. I mean, based on seeing the reading, had you seen a reading before?
I had seen a reading last summer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought it was I was very moved, and I mean, as a viewer, I really felt like I got a sense of the piece.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
felt like I thought it was really, it's an art using Zoom. It's not like and I was like, oh, I can see how this, and I just love the show. So I was very excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you would like to feel excited and like you're a part of helping all that development
Feel a
work
segue
happen.
coming on.
You feel a segue? Well, I don't know what you're talking about, Jeff, but I was just thinking, if you were thinking to yourself, I would like to help that happen, you could put a few bucks in our virtual bucket, which is, we normally at the end of shows ask you to put a buck in the bucket, because if everyone contributed a buck who came to see our shows in a normal summer and fall season, we would have enough money to continue to develop shows for the next season, right? That's the deal.
That's exactly right. And for instance, with Sunflowered, we had 6 actresses, and we had a director, and we had a music director, and we had our writing team, and all of those people we paid for that week's of work.
Yeah.
As it should be.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but
if
we can only do that right now because of people donating.
Because of you being so awesome. So
Right.
I see that they just reposted that that bucket link. And that's awesome. So paypal.me/abuckinthebucket. That's the way that you can help us now keep that development work going.
So one of the other things that's on that site that Doc was alluding to earlier when we were talking about Songs of Hope, you can go on and buy past events. And last week, I think it was last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, we premiered Trunk Songs. And those are outtakes of songs that never made it into a show, even though they were written to be in a show for Northern Sky. And that is still available. You can make a donation, and you can buy those trunk songs so that you can watch them yourself. And it's really wonderful. And we're going to do a little teaser here with one of the trunk songs that got thrown out. Doc, tell us a little bit about this. You said you didn't even remember writing this song or when it got tossed.
Yeah, this would have been in the very first version of Belgians in Heaven, which happened in 1994.
Do you know where we did the first reading?
I don't.
At my apartment in New York City.
What?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We did. You were there, and James Falk was there.
And Lee.
And Lee was there.
Yes.
Karen
was there. Karen was living
That's
in New York
right.
at the time.
That's right.
Lee, Fred, of course, was there. Fred was there. He had been working on The Passage.
Yes.
This is amazing news.
Yes.
I love this.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It's not what I would have guessed.
That was the first reading, but I don't remember this song in that reading.
Well, no one else does either, and for good reason, because it got cut. I don't recall even rehearsing it. I don't know. I suppose we did. I don't
know.
You know, to explain what this song is, you almost have to know the show, because otherwise it doesn't really make sense. But the
does knowing the show make sense?
That assumes the show makes sense, which most people who've seen it realize it doesn't. But Fred Alley famously played a character named Leo de Wartziger, who just wanted to sit around and eat cheese curds, bouillon, and beer, right?
Yeah.
As the show progresses, we discover that his pre-incarnate soul is...
Unpack that, people.
Exactly. This is... Leo's soul, before he was born, doesn't want to get reborn because he doesn't want to deal with my character, Roger, in Brussels, Wisconsin. So he's hiding out in limbo, you know, sort of like purgatory. And they won't let him have a chicken for reasons that make sense to people who've seen Belgians in Heaven.
And so, chickens.
Because chickens are the spawn of the devil, we discover in Belgians.
That's right.
So he's gotten a seagull instead, and Lee Becker famously voiced both Mildred and Verna.
Yeah.
And he was so great voicing the chicken. It's much, much harder to voice a seagull. I won't even attempt it. And yeah, so I felt terrible for Lee that I made
for starters is real high, and it's a very limited range.
I know, and it, you know, I really felt awful that I could have come up with some other bird that would be easier to voice. Anyway, and this is a love song between Leo's pre-incarnate soul and his pet seagull named Berna.
Just for clarification, the explanation for that song is about 10,000 times longer than the song itself. Ready?
Exactly.
Hit it, Doc.
So maybe it's absurd to love a seabird, but I think that creatures who've got winged features should always be preferred. Some say it's glaring, that you smell like dead herring. But when we're together and I stroke your wet feathers, I don't care who is staring. Some say I should get a beagle. I say it ain't illegal. I've got no apology for ornithology. Verna, my seagull.
Yay! I love it so much. In soundcheck, I kept wanting to do it again.
It's sort of like Little Dress in Lumberjacks. Like, play it again.
It's very satisfying. A true encore, right?
This one too. Unusual harmonies. I mean, harmonization.
Changes.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't necessarily go where you think it's going to go, and that's
or
what
where
makes
it should go, really.
or where it should go. Yes, and where it did go was into your trunk.
Right.
For many years.
Into
you pulled it out, and I have to say, if you decide to purchase trunk songs, make a donation to Northern Sky, and have the ability to view trunk songs, you will see that Doc performed this in front of a screen with a virtual seagull.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
The song is actually performed from heaven, just so you know.
Yeah, from heaven.
You get to see heaven in the...
Right.
Oh, that's a reason to get the trunk songs.
Right, exactly.
Because otherwise, it's hard to see heaven from Earth.
Otherwise, many of us may never have
we may never get there.
Exactly.
Especially if we're being punished for writing songs like that.
Precisely.
Is it time for trivia?
Oh, should it be?
No, I thought it was.
Yeah, let's.
Okay. Well, is it really?
Sure.
I don't mean to overcome. Okay. Well, I feel excited. The reason I'm chomping at the bit is that I get to be the trivia asker this
Yay!
week. I know. I'm very excited. Normally, if you're a newbie to the show, you may not know that usually Jeff is in charge of the trivia, but I decided this week that I wanted to be in charge of the trivia because as a Doc Heide fan from very long ago, I know a lot about Doc and his work, and I think it may be more than he knows. So what I know. So in some respects. So I have divided your trivia, Doc, into a few different sections, and basically what we're going to do is test your knowledge of your work and your life. So first of all, we're going to have a little lyrical, fill in the blank lyrical section. These are going to come sort of often. So, if you're coming up the hill to sell me insurance, I give you
Assurance.
You'll need it.
More than me.
Oh, good. If you're coming up the hill to ask for more,
Taxes.
I've
sharpen my axes and will cut more than taxes.
Good job. Well done. Okay, good. And what show is that from?
That's from Our Night in Frog Station, but just so you know, Fred Alley wrote that lyric. So.
Well, that's why you knew it so well. It's just not you.
I know his lyrics beautifully and just not my own.
That's hilarious. Actually, a side note is that when I think Doc knows this story, but when Eric Lewis and Rich Higdon and I were working on the album we did of Fred Alley songs, we were all set. We were all ready to record this song that I loved, that I had heard on Fred's album Beneath the Northern Sky, and I would listen to that for the first time, and I was like, oh, the album starts out with this like, what you gonna do when the cold wind's blowing? Hey, hey. And I was like, oh, I love this. We're doing this. And I was like, it's a crazy bass line. How are we gonna replicate this bass line? Let's see who made it. And we're recording at David Alley's studio, and he's got the actual, LP cover there. And so we look, and there's this little note stuck in there. All songs on this album by Fred Alley except that one, which is by Fred Heide. So we didn't record it on the Fred Alley CD then, as we expected. Well, but when we do the Fred Heide CD, that's going to be on there. Okay. So now this is a section of dialogue, and I was going to ask you and Jeff to have a competition.
Okay.
But I think Jeff probably printed this, and he.
Yeah, but I didn't look.
Oh, you didn't look.
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought maybe you would want me not to.
Oh, great! Wow, I'm impressed with your self-control.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well.
So here we go. I meant to ding you, Doc, for good job.
She got a bell.
I got a bell.
Katie Bell has a bell.
So whoever your job, everyone, is to fill in the word.
Is this a competition?
Yes, between Jeff
and
Doc.
Is this like Jeopardy?
This is like Jeopardy.
Okay. I love Jeopardy.
Okay.
Okay.
Shortly after Louie and I were married, I had set off to continue my exploration of
Wisconsin. Oh, of the Great Yosemite Valley.
No.
Of Alaska.
Now, this is from The Mountains Call My Name, which is a show of John Muir's writings put together by Doc Heide, right?
Yes.
Yes. So now this is a little unfair because you didn't write a lot of the words, but you did. You are the accredited playwright on this piece, and Jeff is a one-man show, and Jeff was slated to do it this summer.
Yeah,
actually.
and I was in the process of memorizing it, and I was shameful that I didn't get that right away. But.
Right as I was ready to depart, my companion,
Stickeen.
no, Reverend.
Oh, I don't remember.
Reverend
his name.
Old, was it Reverend Old? No, it was Reverend Young.
Old fellow.
Reverend Young?
Yes.
Reverend Young. I didn't get that far memorizing.
Came aboard, followed by
A little dog.
that immediately curled up in a
Bundle.
Corner of the ship.
In a bag.
in a hollow among the
Baggage.
Yes. Now I have always befriended animals. Even to the blank I have given many a meal.
Mosquitoes.
Good job, everybody. And what is the dog's name that they're
Stick.
he's talking
Stickeen.
about? Yes, good job.
The mighty Stickeen.
Yes, okay, good work. All right. Now, Jeff, you can still compete with Doc if you want, but now we're back on to something I don't know that you would know as well as this
Well,
songwriter
we'll find out.
here. Okay. Here's a lyric from that you wrote, Doc Heide. The bartender had the eyes of a...
King snake.
Yeah. He said...
Willie, what it would be?
Billy, what
Billy,
be?
what it would be?
Billy said, fellas, I think I'll pass, but...
Have a round of whiskey on me.
Yes, well done. Death grabbed Billy by the collar. I'd like for you to...
Join in this round.
Billy sputtered, but don't you remember? You said...
Old snake eyes waters him down.
Old
or
snake
some-
face
snake
waters
face
him down.
yeah.
Yes, well done. Okay, good. And now what's that song called?
The Hell That I Know.
Uh-huh.
The hell
And what AFT recording is it on?
AFT record. Oh, yes. That's actually on Little Folk Music.
Yes, that's right. And what year did that come out?
97,
Nope.
80, 98.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job. Okay, well done. Now we're moving beyond the Northern Sky fill in the blank lyrics and onto your albums. Now, here is an album by Doc Heide called Lessons I Learned from the Moon. This is
great
my
album.
copy. I've had it for many years, but first I had it on cassette, but then I got it on CD. So, it is a great album. I love it, and I listen to it a lot. So, Doc, what I want to know is how many tracks are there on this record?
10.
Yes, and what are they?
Oh my goodness.
Lessons I Learned from the Moon, Mountains Call My Name, The Candle in the August Night, Melville Recalls His Youth, Part 1, Leviathan, Someone Untied the Moon, the, what's it called, the Shakespearean song?
The Eye.
The Eye of Heaven, there we go. Land of the Free, Home of the Brave,
Melville Recalls His
Stephen's
Youth Part
Church, and Melville Recalls His Youth Part 2.
Good job!
Yes.
Wow, Doc, that was
Holy
impressive.
cow.
I'm impressed by that. Okay, and what year did this CD come out?
1990.
But what year are the songs copywritten? I think they're different. The CD actually was released in 1991.
1991?
The songs were
really?
copywritten in 1990. So it says in these.
Well,
Liner
then
notes.
it's probably true.
Who is the producer?
Fred Alley.
And who is credited as the assistant producer and engineer?
Hans Christian.
But how is he credited in this album?
Hans Christian Räumschüssel.
That's right.
Oh, no way.
Okay, now a little lyrical dive into Lessons I Learned from the Moon. I mean, not the title song, but a different song. Dive ye deep neath the ocean's
Skin.
yes, blue the veins where.
Unbound You Swim.
Wow, you're really good at this. Within your coral tide, the
Coral Home.
coral home. Sorry. That
This-
gave away the answer to the next one. Within your coral home, the
Sea Dark Tide.
yes,
Jerome.
well
Leviathan.
done.
Thank you.
Okay, good job. Okay, and one other one from that one. Far from Stephen's church, a tree grows heaven tall, transfigured by the
Moon.
in a
Pine Cathedral Hall.
shrouded by a.
Oh, gosh. Good question. Shrouded by mountain snow.
Yes, good job.
Oh,
Wow.
Wider than a voice could tell, far from Stephen's church, where.
Angels sought to dwell.
Yes, good job. Okay, good job. So Doc knows this CD sufficiently. I'm satisfied.
So I get a free copy?
You get well, not my copy. Do you still have copies of the CD?
Yes, only
Yeah.
about 700 are still in my attic. So.
They're still for sale on the Northern Sky website.
They are indeed.
Oh, that's good. You guys should get it. It's such a good album.
It's lovely. It's just lovely.
And do you have cassettes left of it?
Cassette. Yeah.
I doubt it. I think we probably threw those away, but
Did you ever print it on vinyl?
we never did on vinyl. You know, this came out right when CDs were hitting. Fred always regretted greatly that he had not recorded Beneath It on the Sky on CD,
Oh.
and he did vinyl, and vinyl tanked right after he recorded it. So yeah, so I got in on the CD.
Little
thing.
did he know that 30 years, 40 years later,
It would all come
it
back
would all
around.
come back.
Exactly.
Yeah, I sold a vinyl last night.
Did you really?
I did. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Sometimes people wouldn't buy a CD, but they'll buy a vinyl
That's
now.
something.
I
Yeah,
know. It's a weird
amazing.
world. Do you think you would do you have plans for another album coming up anytime soon?
I am thinking about it, frankly, yes.
Yeah. Oh, good.
I'm excited about the possibility of home recording
Oh, cool.
during the pandemic, and I just bought a new microphone. So
Oh.
we'll see if, I don't know, we're playing around with it.
Oh, cool. Okay, now this album is by Doc Heide and the Pills. It's called Peaceful Kingdom. And what I want to know, your backing band called the Pills in this
Yes.
album all have nicknames of different
man.
pill types.
Wow.
In the credits. So I want to know what pill types are they credited with. First of all, for 1 point, you tell me who's in the band.
Well, this would be really embarrassing if I don't get this. It would be Eric Lewis, Paul Swinski on bass, and Pat Judy on drums, and me on rhythm guitar. I mean, Eric's on whatever lead guitar. Andy Ratliff on other vocals.
Is there anyone else?
Uh,
No, there's not.
Torture.
So do you know what any of those people are, what pills they are, what their nicknames are in this listing?
Oh, man. I think Eric had some kind of downer. or mood or something like that.
I mean, I couldn't tell you. I don't really know what. Well, I do know what some of these things are. Eric. It starts with an L. Not Lewis, but the middle name. Eric blank Lewis.
Lorzapan.
Nope. Larzapan. Lortab.
Lortab. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Lortab.
How about Doc? You have a. They seem to all be related to your names. So you have an H. Doc blank Heide.
I have a name of a drug that I associate
I assume
with
it's
my...
a drug. I mean, I guess it could be like some sort of classical hero or IKEA furniture, but I think it's a drug.
I
You don't know?
really-
Doc Haldol Heide.
Haldol. Okay, that makes sense.
What's
It's
Haldol?
an antipsychotic.
Oh.
It's an
There you go.
antipsychotic. Okay.
Andy Ratliff. He has a one that starts with an R.
Boy, good question.
This is one I know about.
Ritalin?
Yes, Ritalin.
Okay.
Well done. Pat Judy has
This is a J?
a P.
A P.
This is a famous
Prozac.
one. Yes, well done.
Oh, okay.
And Paul Sawinski also has a P.
Pep pills.
Paxil.
Paxil.
Yeah.
What is Paxil?
That's either an antidepressant.
I thought it
think
was
it's
an antidepressant.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Ah.
Great. And who is this album dedicated to?
Let's see. That's a good question. My mom, perhaps.
Nope. I think Lessons I Learned from the Moon was dedicated to your
My
parents.
dad?
But nope.
Fred Alley. No.
Yes, good.
Oh,
yes.
is it Fred Alley?
This album is dedicated to Fred Alley, who always wanted us to start a rock band.
That's true.
Okay, so now for the final portion of your trivia. This is your life, Doc Heide. This is your life. Is that how it goes? Okay, now I have this scrapbook, which comes up a lot in my life as a Northern Sky aficionada.
She not only has a scrapbook, she has it memorized.
And Doc Heide, like most prominent in this scrapbook are articles by you, right? Like for the
Was
Yes.
a reporter at the
yes.
time?
I mean they're not as the pages are not quite as dog-eared and highlit as the pictures of like, you know, Karen Mull and her fan letters to me. But the mode of the scrapbook is Doc Heide columns. So first thing I want to know is this is a column from 1993, and what you say is that you plan to take 3 trips over the next few months.
Oh.
And do you know what 3 trips you plan to take in the winter of 93-94?
And did you do them?
Yes.
One might be to Belgium,
No, but
because I did take a trip to Belgium.
no, but
year.
you have a Belgium-related trip listed in there.
Is it overseas or, I mean...
Well,
I know
there's one that's out of state but domestic. There's one that's international, and
Yeah.
there's one that's in state.
Well, I was a sabbatical year, and I was trying to decide what I was going to do that summer. And at that point, I had not yet decided to write Belgians in Heaven. I was thinking of going to Tibet, I remember,
Yes,
Bali.
Tibet. What were you going to do in Tibet?
Do research for a novel.
That's right. Yes, that's what it says. So I mean, I guess you would know. You told me. So okay, Tibet is one of them, and one of them does have to do with research for a quote future AFT show which takes place in Southern Doors Belgian community. But where do you think you might plan to go to research that?
UWGB
Dykesville?
is
Much
where I
more.
did go,
Yeah,
actually.
it's also a good guess. Much more colorful. Lil's Bar in downtown Brussels,
Bill's Bar.
Okay.
and then to where would you go to teach a class and comfort your beleaguered grad students?
California?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that good hint. Never would have gotten it.
Okay, now here we have some. This is a column from July 29th, 1994. And it's labeled 94 season in my little 10-year-old handwriting. This must be where the 94 season begins in my scrapbook. And there are some Leo de Wartziger isms that aren't in Belgians in Heaven, but they're in this column. So I was wondering if you could finish them for me.
Okay.
A bird in the hand is a
future dinner.
Yeah, a meal waiting to happen. I was gonna
Yeah, I
say.
was gonna.
Is a small bird.
Oh, okay. That's better.
The pen is mightier than.
The pencil.
Yes. Don't count your chickens.
Before you own a rooster.
While they're looking at you.
No. Unless.
Don't count your chickens unless.
You know how to count.
Unless you have to.
Oh.
Unless you have to.
Life is short, then.
The interminable darkness yawns
Rises.
like a chasm.
Similar. Then you get hemorrhoids. Two heads are.
Two heads are one more than you need.
Enough. If pigs could fly.
If things
If
could.
pigs could fly.
If things
pigs
could fly.
If pigs could fly.
Oh, if pigs could fly. You should never leave the house.
Similar. I'd stay out of the yard. Yeah. Okay, good.
I
You're
wanted
doing
it
well.
to be something about trying to get bacon. But
About trying to get bacon?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah.
yeah.
What was the name of the skunk who made his home under the tech booth in 1995?
The name of the skunk. I don't know, Dave Alley. What was the name?
I
of the
know
skunk?
it had a.
Any idea? David doesn't know. David named it, I'm sure.
Think Pompadour.
Oh, Elvis.
Yes.
Elvis the skunk. All
Elvis the
right.
I
skunk.
can tell you a very funny story about that
Okay,
skunk.
do please.
At one point, that skunk ran through the house during a show, I think it
Yes.
was. I don't remember what show it
I
was.
don't either.
And everyone in the house was noticing the skunk and standing up as the skunk came through, and it was running forward, so it created this wave effect where from the back of the house, all the people were standing up, throwing
I
their
think it was
hands
doing
into the
Frog
air.
Station, so it seemed very unseemly.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Frog Station, what animal did you find on your guitar case on the closing night of Frog Station?
Oh, frog?
Yes, correct. That was easy. Let's see. What was the first AFT show you watched from the seats?
AFT, not Heritage
Not
Ensemble.
Heritage Ensemble.
Well, that probably would have been
You can guess too, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm going through my head
Lumberjacks
here.
in Love, possibly, or Northern
No.
Lights.
Nope.
No. No, it has to be something you weren't in.
Well, I wasn't in those in 97 or 98.
I think you're
Oh,
thinking too
oh.
late.
Oh.
Well, I thought I was in everything up till then.
I think you should think a little closer about 96.
Oh, sure.
96 was Moans Call My Name.
Good night, Irene.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Good Night, Irene.
Good night, Irene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done. And there's one final one. You say in this article, from I don't have a date, but it seems to be 1996, that you saw on the previous Saturday's Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel a headline that said 3,300 broiler chickens killed in crash near Arcadia.
Ah.
And Dave Alley had a response to that headline, and I was wondering if you remembered what it was. Or if David remembers.
Oh, something
Do you remember?
pithy, I'm sure.
3,300 chickens, broiler chickens, killed in crash near Arcadia. David Alley said, they shouldn't let them drive.
Right.
Oh,
Spoken like a
my.
true truck driver.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right. Well done.
Yes. There are probably a lot of people, not a lot of people, very few people watching this at this moment who
Period.
And even less after that contest.
who wouldn't know that Doc Heide has been around longer than anybody else associated with this theater company. And that takes us all the way back to Heritage Ensemble. And your first performance out there, Doc, was what year?
The first summer performance was 73.
1973.
Yep.
And do you remember what Fred Alley's first year was? Was it
82.
82, yeah.
Yes.
I came up that year and saw you guys. That was That was the first time I saw. That was the first time I saw you as an adult. I think I'd seen Heritage Ensemble as a kid, but I hadn't come up since I was 18 until Fred and I. Until Fred did that summer of '82, and Velk did the year after that, right? '83.
Yeah, the next year was Velk and Gerald Pilbrine.
Yeah, I came up then too.
Yep.
That year I was born.
And then that was the year you were born. And then in '85, I did Heritage Ensemble down at Governor Dodge. At that particular summer, there were 2 troupes going, and you guys did a show up here that you and Fred were in, a show that you put together.
Yes.
Called Mark Twain's Mississippi, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a song from that called Dream Away Down River, which I got to sing down there at Governor Dodge, and we're going to do it for you right now.
That was an artful segue.
This is sort of a song that one might imagine Huck Finn singing, for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Although it's not clear in the show that this happens, but that's kind of the idea. Are we ready?
We're ready. Got a pocket full of troubles, nothing else to show. Gonna tie these logs together, then down the stream I'll go. From the mystery above into the mystery below. And I'll dream away, lay me down and dream away, down the river of time. We drift along the channel, hum a river tune. We watch the water sparkle like quicksilver in the moon. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going nowhere soon. And I'll dream away, lay me down and dream away, down the river of time. Take me, Mississippi, where your purple waters wind. I've got something to find, and I'm ready. There's a rainbow down the river, and a thunderhead behind. Got one hand on the oar, holding steady. We smoke and talk for hours, drift on through the night, toes dipped in the water, beneath the stars so bright. I got no way of knowing if it's wrong or if it's right, but I'll dream away, lay me down and dream away, down the river of time. Oh, I'll dream away, lay me down and dream away, down the river of time, down the river of time, down the river of time.
I love that song. This is like a new to me song. This is which is exciting. This must be how like Bruce Springsteen fans feel when he releases like old B-sides, you know? Like I thought I knew everything. Yeah.
That was actually the first decent song I ever wrote.
Oh, really?
I'd been writing songs for 20-some years, and it was, I think, kind of the first one that felt like, oh, that could be a keeper.
You don't think there's any ones before that you would are there none before that you would still perform in any capacity?
I don't think so. I mean, there's some preposterous ones that I would hate to see the light of day. So I hope no one's recording.
That's his next album, Preposterous Songs. That never should have seen the light of day.
Is it time for bakery?
I think it might be. I see Dave Alley over there ready to hand off plates of food to people. Now, we will notice that
David.
Doc has 4 items on his because Dave Alley last week judged for us, and this week he went double duty and has produced 2 baked goods. So we have that to look forward to. Thank you, David. Wow.
Wow.
All right. And I was saying to Katie that it's interesting this week, apart from one of them, which almost qualifies, everything on this plate is really kind of an amuse-bouche.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Like, pop it in and have a good time.
I'm very amused.
You are amused. Your bouche is amused.
Yeah. Which one should we start with, Doc Heide?
Yeah.
You're the judge.
I'm the judge. Okay, but I have some that you don't have. Is that
Well,
right?
you
Yeah,
have
just
one
one.
that
Okay.
Jeff and I don't get our own.
So am I judging all four?
Yes,
Yes.
you are.
Okay. Well, I'll try this tiny one that you don't have. How's
Okay,
that?
great. So this
So
is
that's
what
the
I
Katie
made.
dolls.
Yes.
All right, we're going to
Okay.
taste that one.
These are called, tell you, these are called melting moments, and it's my favorite
Whoa.
memory of my grandma.
That's really good.
Shortbread.
Yes.
So good.
They're a Christmas cookie usually, but
Yes.
the reason I chose them is I knew I was going to be in the island last night, and they really don't. It's fine if you make them a few days before. You know,
Yeah.
they taste
Oh.
good. So
I love a good shortbread. This is delicious, Katie.
thank you.
That's really good.
So what's in this?
Oh my gosh,
center?
it was crazy. I was reminded how insane this recipe is. It's only butter. It's a cup of butter, 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar, and 2 cups of flour.
Yeah.
That's all it is, and
Yeah.
then it's and then frosting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're delish.
thanks. Yeah,
I need a
Okay.
spot of tea.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, what next?
How about this little guy?
This is a Dave Alley.
This is a Dave Allen.
David said that this, we'll taste it and you'll know immediately.
Whoa.
Yum.
Good job, Dave. It's,
So-
Oh, it's like a
What are we
citrusy
tasting?
something, huh?
A what?
Is there a citrusy something? Do you think there's orange in here?
I don't know about that, but there's ginger galore.
Ginger. David says yes to orange.
serious ginger, right?
No,
No ginger?
just
Oh, a lot of ginger.
where David is trying
There
to
are 3 different.
answer yes and no.
There are 3
Can't see
different
Dave
kinds.
through the
You
wall,
guys,
so
there are 3 different kinds of ginger in here.
What?
I was going to say, it feels
Yes.
like
It's
I
got-
hope Dave told you that you're not like a you're not
No.
super
He
mouth.
told me in
Okay.
advance. I would have known anyway, Katie doll.
Lemon.
Oh, lemon. And there's crystallized
It is
ginger,
sisters.
there's powdered ginger, and there's fresh ginger.
Wow.
I know, right?
Amazing.
I know.
Really good.
Yummy, huh?
that is. Okay.
Okay.
Well, then we have whatever this is.
This is
I
like
don't-
a bar, everyone.
I
and
think
it's
this
got
is also
some
a
layers.
shortbread.
Oh yeah.
And
A bar
And-
in which you don't need to socially distance.
There is a David
Wow.
Alley said that
It's a Middle Eastern millionaire shortbread.
Middle Eastern millionaire shortbread. I learned about
Because-
millionaire shortbread on the Great British Baking Show.
Do you know why it's called Middle Eastern?
Oh, lots of tahini.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Ton of
3
tahini.
kinds of tahini.
3 kinds of tahini.
I can
That's
taste
right.
them all.
Crystallized tahini, powdered tahini.
And fresh tahini. Right off the tahini plant.
It's
Yum.
amazing.
So good. Okay.
And our final specimen.
Yeah, the final one.
This is so exciting looking.
Whoa.
Wow. That is not what I expected it to taste like. That's so
No.
good. So what this is, everyone, is like a dark. I thought like small rice cookie of some sort, but it's actually like a truffle.
That's right. It's a Brazilian
with
fudge.
espresso or something in
That's
it.
right. Yeah.
Brazilian fudge.
Brazilian fudge
made
truffle.
this?
Yeah.
Dave, did Dave make all
No,
this?
Jeff made this.
Oh, you made this. Wow.
This is so amazing and rich. Like
I know,
I
right?
love it. Wow. So how do you make this?
It's made with sweetened condensed milk, and it's stovetop. The whole thing is stovetop, and you mix it and you get it up to 225 degrees. But you mix in the Dutch processed cocoa, cinnamon, salt, butter, and the sweetened condensed milk. And all those things, and you get it to 225, and once it gets there, you do it in a nonstick pan, and then suddenly it turns into this sort of super slippery, slidey thing, and then you put it into a pan, and you let it cool to room temp, and then you just do scoops of that, and then you roll them in cashews and chocolate.
Wow. And it's like cashews and like sprinkles.
Yeah,
Chocolate sprinkles.
exactly.
Jimmy's.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Now, did everyone else call them Jimmy's growing up? I grew up calling them sprinkles, and then I learned that other people called them Jimmy's. What did you
Jimmy's?
call them?
I didn't have them as a child.
Really? Like never in a where you went and go to an ice cream restaurant and say, I'd like some sprinkles on top.
No.
Oh.
Did you, Doc? Did you grow up with them?
With sprinkles
Yeah.
on my ice cream?
Yeah.
No. No, I think that might have been
Might have
somewhat
come
more
along
recent innovation.
Really?
In terms of a commercial scale. I mean, we had an ice cream store in Wisconsin Rapids, I remember, but they didn't have something like that.
Did you, Dave Alley? Did you have? No.
Wow.
That might have been something for your youth, Katie Doll.
Wow.
I know.
Crazy. Huh.
That's something.
Yeah.
We could be wrong. You could have just been poor,
You
deprived
could have been
Wisconsin
deprived,
boys.
right?
Well, I can still remember when Baskin Robbins first got started and came to Green Bay. 'Cause
oh, you
we
do?
went there all the time during high school.
With their 33 flavors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that included sprinkles.
One of the flavors? Probably not.
May not have.
It's the condiment section. Doc, you have to decide which one of those you like the best.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Really?
Pressure's on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me say, first of all, I'm philosophically opposed to contests, but
So what?
aside from that, I would say this is really
Dave.
Remarkable
Ginger,
Triple Ginger
David.
wins
the
it.
triple ginger.
Way to go.
Takes the
Yum.
prize. That's just,
It's like bright and exciting. And
I know, it's
yeah.
just so surprising.
Yeah, well done. If you'd only had 2 kinds of ginger, it might not have won. But since you had 3, it was a success.
The tahini's mad, though.
The tahini's mad
The tahini is mad.
because it didn't get picked.
Yeah, because it had 3 kinds, too.
Yeah, I know exactly. It's like I was fresh and powdered and
And crystallized.
crystallized. Exactly.
No
Yum.
way I'm going to be able to sing now.
I know.
Lord have mercy.
We'll mostly make Doc sing in this song.
That's terrible.
I know. We're always having to make the schedule, and it's hard to because we have to have baking, but we have to have singing.
My voice teacher when I was in college, I don't know if Ilona Combrink is still living or not, honestly. I hope she is. At any rate, we would, she would always say, after we'd come back from the Commons, having had lunch or whatever, and we were supposed to sing, and we weren't singing very well, she said, "Now, you didn't eat a peanut butter, did you?" Like, a peanut butter? What is a peanut butter? No, we didn't have a peanut butter.
You didn't eat
You can't
tahini,
sing
did
after
you?
you've eaten a peanut butter.
Tahini.
That's how I feel now. with tahini.
I love it.
Are we going to do a song?
I hope so.
Oh, I got to get my pages.
Oh yeah, we got to
Turned.
get some pages.
Otherwise,
I will mention
No.
while Jeff is getting his pages in order that if you're just joining us, you can throw a few bucks in our virtual bucket, paypal.me/abuckinthebucket to support our ongoing programming. That would be awesome. We don't use any of that money to pay for our baking. That all is Dutch processed cocoa.
I told you,
Right
didn't
out
I?
of the Herb's budget.
I told you about was that one of the things that I mentioned on the Great British Bake Off quiz with Ellie? That all of those bakers supply their own baking materials up until the finals.
You did not tell me that, and that blows my mind.
Isn't that amazing? Can you imagine? Think about all those ingredients that they do week after week after week. They have to buy all of their own ingredients up until the
That
finals.
is really nuts. And they don't
Right?
get like a stipend or something.
Not that I know of. They just said they have to supply them all.
That's really crazy because they practice. A lot of them are
I
like,
know.
I practiced this 22 times before I came in here this week, and then they have to do it again.
I know.
And they also have to have a lot of backup because sometimes they restart in the actual competition.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
they do have people who apparently run to the grocery if they need a
Oh.
replacement item. Whether or not they have to hand them some coins first,
Right.
I don't know. You
Wow.
know? Yeah.
Crazy. I love it. That I feel like that I love it. I'm trying to figure out if that's a British ism or I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, more trivia. This Doc, tell us about this song, please.
Well, let's see. This is the title cut from my album Peaceful Kingdom.
Where everybody's named after psychotic drugs.
Right, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Exactly, that we can't remember the name.
Jagged
their-
Little Pill. No, that's somebody else's. What's
right.
That's an Alanis Morissette album.
This song is kind of features is dedicated to my mom, and you'll hear a lot about my mom in this song. My mom had passed away in '94, actually, the year that Belgians premiered. She never got to see it, but she was a very deeply devout person, and I wrote this at the beginning of the Second Iraq War, and it was kind of about what she might be thinking about all that if she were still with us. So let's see if we can get through it here. Gather round, boys, and I'll tell you a tale of the Cracker Jack plan that could not fail. All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. Michael cast out the dragon at the break of day. Now the dragon runs a bistro in L.A. All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. Pardon me, Janie, pardon me, Jack, I've got this COVID on my back. All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. See your brother walk in the sand, way over yonder by the promised land. All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. Mama, mama, now don't you cry while you tend your garden in the sky. Remember, boys, how the man held fast. The word went forth, the torch was passed. All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. Ask not what they'll do for you, he said. Ask what to do for them instead. All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. Now night comes crawling from the east. They get most who need the least. All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. If Mama were here, she'd be stern. Lord Almighty, would they never learn? All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. Mama would sit and sip her tea in her breakfast robe and say to me, Jesus made wine, he made fish, but Jesus did not get his wish. All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. He stood on a mountain and said, who's blessed, left us here to do the rest. All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. Sometimes it seems this world is almost through, but if you stay with me, I'll stay with you. So gather round, boys, I'll tell you a tale of the Cracker Jack plan that could not fail. All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. Michael cast out the dragon at the break of day. Now the dragon runs a bistro in L.A. All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. All is well in the peaceful kingdom, all is well. All is well. All is well. All is well.
Yay.
All right, got through it.
I love that.
Rock and roll.
I know. I feel cool playing that song.
I feel stressed.
That's that's my wife's favorite lick. That
It's
cool
your-
opening lick. That
it's
kind
Jody's
of bird
favorite
thing.
lick?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
It's really great.
Oh, cool. It is. It is great.
Well, it's been a blast.
It has.
The time flies
I
on the
know.
Jeff and Katie show.
I know.
I know.
We'll be
Like,
back next week with a super secret guest whose name rhymes with Lame's Milk.
Guess away, people.
Yeah.
Guess away. All right. Let's take it on out
All right.
with the Jeff and Katie show.
The Katie and Jeff Show.
The Jeff and Katie show.
The Katie and Jeff Show. Commutable.
Refutable.
Disputable.
Delusional. No matter what, we know that you'll be watching, watching, watching. The Jeff and Katie show.
And Doc.
Right in tempo. Thanks again, Doc.
Yay, thanks,
Thanks, everybody. Have a
Thanks for
great
having me.
Sunday
It was really
evening.
fun.
We'll see you again
Bye.
soon. Bye now.
I know.
Katie doll, Katie doll.
Well, thanks, guys. That was really fun.
Yeah.